American, so Americans. Americans, what the heck? I'm trying to swear less. Bear with me, it's hard. I have like nothing but love and compassion, and I actually understand how you ended up here, but you'll have to forgive me because I'm straight out of patience. Now, I used to be what was considered extreme left, but I'm politically homeless. I'm not left or right anymore. I'm just sane. But I'm watching the left and the right snuggle right up right now in their shared geopolitical illiteracy, arrogance, and absolute stupidity. The mullahs in Iran are a fascist Islamist colonialist dictatorship who fully intend, openly so, to take over the world and destroy everyone who is not a part of their evil death cult. And yes, although they've been working on their nuclear reactors for years, only very recently had they reached the point where they could actually develop and use nuclear weapons to create mass casualty events in the Middle East and in the West. Now, American geographical isolation and geopolitical illiteracy and lack of awareness of other cultures and ideologies created an extremely dangerous situation under Obama and Biden because they simply didn't understand that there was danger involved with radical Islamist, colonialist, fascist dictatorships. Or maybe they did and they just didn't care. But I like to assume the best in people. And also what I'm seeing in the people that I know is that they simply just cannot fathom what it means to have a fascist Islamist dictatorship with nuclear weapons in existence, because they live lives of such extreme luxury and privilege compared to so much of the rest of the world that they simply can't comprehend it. But I gotta say, the woke left and the woke right are pretty much the same at this point. Now, I think most people know that I'm not a very big fan of Trump, but I am grateful that his handlers, at least, had the moral clarity to make a decision to save humanity. Now, I know he probably only agreed to do it so that he could swoop in at the end after we did all the dirty work and seem like the hero to everybody and take to Twitter to brag about how amazing he is. But Trump made the decision to prevent a nuclear holocaust. Trump helped stop one of the world's most evil fascist regimes from being able to kill thousands, millions of people. Trump sent state-of-the-art bombers to destroy Iranian nuclear capacities, which needed to be done. And I'm seeing people on the woke left and the woke right wringing their hands performatively, being like, not in my name! I don't want to die for Israel! Completely making fools of themselves. I'm getting hysterical messages from people being like, I don't want to be drafted! Like 56-year-old men who have not been to the gym in 6 years, who have never held a gun in their life, thinking that they are the ones that are going to be picked to fight Iran. Also, I don't know if you know this, but the American army is huge and has some of the best, most terrifying state-of-the-art weapons. They don't really need to draft. And the Israeli army is not interested. We're set, thanks. But anyway, the right is like, American first. Why should we get involved in foreign wars? La, 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 la. We don't have anything to do with it. Let those poor, stupid, backwards brown people in the Middle East fight it out for themselves. Completely forgetting the fact that the Americans are the reason that most of the conflicts in the Middle East are happening in the first place, because it's their stupid foreign policies that put us all into these situations. Take Iran, for example.
In the 1970s in Iran, radical leftist groups and student activist groups decided to partner with radical Islamic groups because they were upset about the corruption and injustice that they felt that they were experiencing in Iran. Coincidentally, at around that same time, the Shah had decided that he wanted to nationalize oil production and no longer be completely beholden to American and British oil companies like Shell and British Petroleum, for example. And the civil unrest within Iran between the leftist groups and Islamist groups and the Shah sort of hit a fever pitch. The Shah approached his dear friend and ally, President of the United States, for help. Jimmy Carter was like, you know what, buddy, I've got your back. And so what did he do? He helped the Ayatollah overthrow the Shah and take over Iran. In sum, an American president helped overthrow the Iranian government in the 70s and instated a radical Islamist fascist dictatorship. All because Americans love their oil.
Oh, or Afghanistan for that matter. Not only was the U.S. funding the Taliban, but when they withdrew from Afghanistan, they did so very quickly and left literally billions of dollars of brand new state-of-the-art American military equipment, tanks, airplanes, weapons, left it all to the Taliban, who is now happily using it to violently oppress the Afghan people. The West has had this objectively stupid policy of trying to throw money at Islamist terrorist organizations because they don't understand things like ideology or Islamism. And so they believe that if they just throw enough money at Islamist terrorists, that they'll have a vested interest in not committing acts of terror, but that's not actually what happens. You just end up with terrorist organizations with a ton of money to commit even worse terror attacks. And that's generally been their policy with the Ayatollah, with Hezbollah, with Hamas, with Al-Qaeda, with the Taliban. Maybe instead of thinking about it as the U.S. getting involved in other people's business, you can reframe that as the U.S. cleaning up its own disastrous messes that it's left throughout the Middle East. And I didn't think I could be any more disappointed by the American left, but I am. As I'm seeing all of these people who like genuinely believe themselves to be like woke, liberal, feminists who care about LGBTQ rights, religious freedom, minority rights, anti-racist stuff, like their hatred of Donald Trump has completely eclipsed their entire moral compass and code. To the point that just because Donald Trump was involved in attacking the Islamist fascist dictatorship of Iran, these idiots are out in the streets screaming in solidarity and support of the Ayatollah, screaming over the voices of all of the Iranian people who are like, no, we hate them and they've been trying to kill and oppress us this whole time. This is a government that kills gay people, that like rapes, blinds, beheads, throws acid in the face of women for showing hair, who believes in sexual violence as a deterrent for crime, who executes religious and ethnic minorities en masse. There's at least one Iranian executed every 6 hours, I believe, on average. All of those things should be exactly in opposition to Western liberal progressive values. And yet somehow the American leftists are out in the streets very vocally and loudly supporting the fascist dictatorship that is doing all of the things that they theoretically are completely opposed to just because they hate Donald Trump. Also, forgive me, but I'm really tempted to throat punch anyone who suggests diplomacy at this point, 2 years into a war with genocidal Islamist colonialist terrorists, and now the Ayatollah of Iran, who is like the king fascist Islamist dictatorship trying to murder everyone. And obviously diplomacy doesn't work. Otherwise it would have, one of the billions of times we've tried it and failed. If we were able to just talk to and snuggle these genocidal fascist Islamist dictators and convince them that maybe they're in the wrong and they shouldn't try to murder gay people or religious minorities or ethnic minorities or women just for existing, then they would have stopped, because you know what? We've been doing that for generations and it doesn't work. Sometimes you actually have to fight. Sometimes violence actually is necessary. Sometimes you need to stop evil people from doing evil things. And if you don't in certain circumstances, then you are complicit in the evil that is being done. The blood of innocent people that they are killing is on your hands as well, because you chose not to step up and stop it when you could have.